Access Sportsnet Lakers brought to you by your Toyota dealers. We make it easy. Chris McGee alongside James Worthy, Mike Bresnan. We have Trudell and Allie down at the arena. Lakers win streak is snapped at the hand of the champs tonight. Hard-fought battle. Lakers were right there, came up short. Frustrating night in some regards. Lakers didn't get the calls tonight. It's a very active team, a great defensive team. They were talking about on the broadcast their use of their hands more than any team in the league. That frustrated the Lakers at times. OKC shot 42% from three. Big night for their bench. We'll get to that in a moment. Also 14 offensive boards turned into 24 points, 12 steals also for OKC. And then we'll talk about the execution down the stretch for the Lakers in a moment. But hard-fought battle, James.
It was a hard-fought battle. The Lakers fought hard, Geeter, especially in the second half. They came back. I think they got the lead.
By 8.
And then, Oklahoma's, they're such a physical team that sometimes they get you out of your play. You start complaining about a foul or two, and then they're out. I thought Williams, coming back, he had to come back against us tonight. He lit us up. I think their bench had over 50 points as well. So there were moments that you have to capture the game. And I thought the Lakers, maybe tried to force a pass too much when they needed the possession. Possessions are critical down the stretch. And it's okay to take a risk early in the game, a long pass. But when you have the ball in the third, fourth quarter, you got to really, take care of the basketball. I think, some offensive rebounds for Oklahoma kind of stymied the growth that the Lakers were headed. But Oklahoma played a good game. You just have to be ready for their physicality. I think the Lakers just couldn't match that down the stretch.
Phil Jackson used to call Bruce Bowen Edward Scissorhands because he was very handsy, plenty of fouls in there. I would argue this is an entire team of Edward Scissorhands. I mean, it's an old reference for sure, Geet, but just really, really active is the best word I can come up with. And maybe the refs are just accustomed to it, and they don't call the fouls like they should have. And I think it's kind of a frustrating game, as you mentioned, Geet, for a couple reasons. The Lakers had some in-and-out shots down the stretch. LeBron in-and-out three, Marcus Smart in-and-out little floater. And also, there were two calls in the fourth quarter, James, where the Lakers had to burn their challenges. The Lakers were correct both times. The calls were overturned in their favor, and they did not have a challenge after that when there was a clear out-of-bounds play that OKC kind of dropped the ball out of bounds, should have gone the Lakers' way. Sorry, you guys, you've already used your two allotted challenges. Even though you got them both correct, it's going to be OKC ball. So I feel like, just some bad luck. And the refs had troubles tonight, as evidenced by the Lakers, kept overturning and could have had one more, but they were out of challenges.
As long as you win it, you should have one. To win the challenge and then not have any more, that's unfair. That's unfair to the team that has it. But, I wish they'd take a look at that because, you need it when you need it. And to, to be successful on all of them, you shouldn't lose them.
Yeah, they were 2 for 2.
If you want to take something away, take away those 15 minutes looking at videos and stuff like that.
Let's talk execution, guys. Last 5 minutes of the third quarter, I looked. Lakers were up 8. They're down 2 going into the fourth. They had 99 points with 6 minutes left. James, they didn't score for another 3 minutes. They were stuck on 99, outscored by 9 down the stretch. Remember, the Lakers are one of the best teams. They're the best team, percentage-wise, in the league when it comes to those clutch games in the last 5 minutes. And tonight, James, they had their looks. They just didn't knock them down. Things didn't go their way. It's a lot of different things. And OKC is really good and makes some big-time plays.
Yeah, they had some shots. I know Jake had a couple of looks. It wasn't that they didn't have the looks, but I think, when you're down the stretch and you need to score, for me, I don't mind, open shots, but I think you have to really lock in on a player, like post LeBron up, post Ayton up, try to get to the free throw line. You don't get to the line that much down the stretch when you're shooting threes. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't take what's available to them, but I think when they really need a bucket, like Oklahoma, they knew when they needed a bucket. They get in with the Williams. We had Austin. But I think there are times you got to try to slow it down a little bit and focus on trying to get a foul. But that's just me. But I thought the Lakers had their chances. If the shots had gone down, I'd be like, well, they knocked them down. But sometimes I think you got to specialize on a player that you have that you can maybe get a bucket or ISO, potentially get a foul, just to slow the game down to your favor.
Yeah, I like that point too. And Jake LaRavia, he was great through 3 quarters, got a little cold in the 4th quarter, missed a couple threes. I still go back to the frustration level, and James, maybe you can talk about this as a player too. LeBron kind of jawing at his old teammate, Alex Caruso. LeBron just getting so tired of the missed calls in that 4th quarter. You had Austin Reeves, uncharacteristic, you know, getting a tech in that second half. He thought he got hacked. Sure looked like it was more of a shove than a hack. And
I showed that on the broadcast.
Yeah, and he probably should have been shoot free throws. Instead, he picks up a tech. So I think the Lakers maybe just, you know, I'm not going to say the refs cost them the game. I hate saying that, so I'm not going to, because that's not true either. It's just enough bad luck and just enough calls that didn't go their way, and that's the game right there.
It knocks you off your game a little bit, because it is frustrating when you're not getting the call. But when you're not getting it, there's some things you can say to the referee, like, okay, I'm assuming you're letting us play tonight, and then just walk away, and then just play hard. But you can't get caught up into, you know, complaining to the ref. You just got to go do something about it yourself. Go stronger, maybe, you know, run a play that's a little bit easier for you. But they can't complain about it. But I thought the referees, they're used to Oklahoma.
Exactly.
Oklahoma started playing this way in November. So once you establish yourself as that kind of player that's handsy, the referees, they know that's your style. And a lot of times you can get away with some things.
You can break this game down a lot of different ways. When you look at the Laker bench, they scored 37 points, did a nice job. You had double figures from Jackson Hayes tonight. You had 7 from Kennard. And, of course, Austin Reeves, who's a starter, but coming off the bench right now. But OKC, without SGA, this is what makes them so great. 11 threes, 54 points. Isaiah Joe with 19, Caruso with 17, and the other Jay Will with 11. I guess they're showing us something right now.
It's LeBron and Caruso jawing at each other. Obviously, some frustration.
So the bench from OKC coming up huge. 11 threes from those 3 guys.
Yeah, and that's just who they are. Without Shea, and when they didn't have Williams, they suffered a little bit, but their system is such that when Dort's in there, the other Williams is in there, they don't, you know, Hartenstein, these guys, they get the job done. They don't skip a beat. They might not have the firepower, but they still have the ability, the way they run their offense and the way they play defense. They turn you over. They're getting points off turnovers. They're getting extra possessions on offensive rebounds. So might not have the top scorers, but they do other little things that you need to keep them, you know, afloat.
And Isaiah Joe here, what a first half for him. He's kind of like their 8th man, I guess, maybe even their 9th man in some games. A very fluctuating bench. They have a lot of guys who can come in and score. You know, Kason Wallace is basically a starter without SGA there. And you know, Joe just shot the Lakers, shot his team into competition in that first half. And Geet, it's an enviable bench. It really is. I mean, they got good defenders, good 3-point shooters. I like the move the Lakers made at the trade deadline. You know, picking up Luke Kennard, a guy who can shoot and do a little bit more than that we saw in his first game the other night, James, with the Lakers. I really liked how he got some layups and stuff, very crafty without the ball. But that OKC, the starting 5 comes at you hard, and then those reserves, they don't let up at all.
Alex Caruso tonight, 17 points, a plus 19, 7 for 8 from the field, 3 for 4 from 3. So our old friend won a title here in LA in 2020. Did a lot of damage tonight. Jalen Williams, had not played since January 17th. Only 24 games this year. Remember, he started the year on the shelf, came back for a couple months, got hurt again, returned tonight, did start, only played 24 minutes. 23 points, though, really seemed to find his rhythm, James, in that 4th quarter where he scored 10 of his 23. And when they were closing it out down the stretch with no